What is going on, people? TripleM back again with another video, and tonight we've got to talk about Morocco, because if this doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Who doesn't love an underdog story? Genuinely speaking, they get a magnificent draw against Croatia. Then they go on to beat Belgium in a shock result. And as if that wasn't enough, they beat Canada to put the cherry on top and finish top of the summit in their group, where they can look down on everybody else as if to say, we're better than you. And then they go and do some more. They go to the round of 16 against the former world champions, send them to the distance and absolutely destroy them 3-0 in a penalty shootout. What a performance. This man should be proud. Amrabat was amazing. He won 100% of his ground duels, 7 out of 7. Had a clearance, had a block, an interception, and 4 tackles. What a workman-like performance he put in. He did so much of the donkey work, patrolling that midfield, chasing the ball up and down tirelessly, making sure that the standards did not drop in that midfield, always making sure that the Spanish players knew he was there. And that's not an easy thing to do. We've seen Spain play against some of the best teams in the world and beat their press, beat their hard work, and make it look like a training drill, because that's what Spain do. They had 73% of the possession. They had over 1,000 passes played. Typical Spain. They had majority of the shots on target. They had majority of the shots in total. Actually, I think Morocco had more shots on target, but Spain had majority of the shots in general. They hit the post more than Morocco. And on top of that, they created a lot more clear-cut chances. So Spain should have won this game, but if buts and maybes don't count, and that's why Morocco are into the next round. Special shout out to Bono as well. Bono was amazing. He genuinely deserves a 10 out of 10 on every rating app this evening. I'm not having it. Anything lower than a 10 ain't good enough, because this man was amazing. The way he commanded his area, the way he showed leadership, the way he saved Morocco, not just in regulation time, but in the penalty shootout. He made 2 saves, and the third one hit the post. If it weren't for it hitting the post, he actually would have had that covered. I personally believe he had his lines covered because he guessed it the right way, and it wasn't a great penalty. It didn't have power. It didn't have precision. All it had was width. And I think he had it covered. He was so close to hitting that ball away and parrying it into the crowd. Well, not into the crowd, but, you know, into the ground. What a magnificent performance by him. And what a magnificent performance by the Morocco team in general. What they have achieved tonight cannot go understated. It cannot be overstated enough. It cannot be overrated enough. They have achieved something genuinely special. And I think it's fair to say that nobody expected Morocco to be this good. Even Africans didn't expect them to be this good. I'm an African, and I didn't think they'd be this good. Forget beating Belgium, forget drawing against Croatia, and forget beating Canada. I didn't expect them to finish top of their group, let alone make the round of 16. And then they go on and win in penalty shootouts. That's absolutely mental. Absolutely mental. And in Spain, there were a couple of slices short of a loaf of bread. You know, lights are on, but nobody's home type of situation, because they did everything right except for finish. And the substitutions that Enrique made is questionable. It's questionable because he brought on Pablo Sarabia, he brought on Carlos Soler, and he brought on a bunch of other players, but those 2 in particular missed penalties, I believe, tonight. And then Sergio Busquets, who had been playing all evening long, also missed a penalty. And the reason why I say those 2 substitutions in particular are questionable, because I believe one of them didn't kick a ball until he got subbed on for the penalty shootout. That's just silly. That's just very silly. Why do coaches do this? Why can't you bring someone on at halftime in extra time, so that they at least had 15 minutes to touch the ball, to warm up their legs, to get used to the atmosphere and soak it in? They've been sitting on the bench for 120 minutes, and you expect them to take a spot kick to essentially send their team into the next round. And if they miss, they're going home. And they've never had experience in this type of situation before. And you expect that player, just because he did in the training ground, to do that in front of a hostile Moroccan crowd, because that crowd was full of Moroccans. It's almost as if they had majority of the ticket share, and there was more of them in Qatar than there were Spanish fans. Why would you bring someone on with literally no time left on the clock to take a spot kick that's so important, rather than giving them 15 minutes? Heck, even half an hour. Bring him on in the 90th minute so that he can actually get a full sense of extra time. Gareth Southgate did the same thing in the Euros. Why on earth would you bring on Saka, such a young player, and then you bring on Rashford and Sancho, who hadn't kicked the ball the entire tournament, to take a spot kick at the end? It makes no sense. Why do international managers always do this? Sometimes it works, but most of the time, at least as far as I can remember, it never ends well. It never ends well. I remember France did it in the Euros in 2016, I believe. The one that Portugal won. There was a player who came on specifically to take a penalty, and he also missed. I just forget his name. And he had like a freaking ballerina step up, right? Like he was a meme on Twitter for like a few weeks because of his flamboyant run up to the ball and his stutter, which failed, by the way. Why do coaches do this? It's common sense. You bring someone on early so that they have time to adjust to the atmosphere. They have time to actually kick the ball around and get the blood flowing and get used to what's going on around them. Hello? Am I the only one who feels this way? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But anyways, what Morocco have done is genuinely amazing. I'm going to end it there. I'm buzzing on behalf of Morocco. I'm obviously not too enthralled that Spain have gone out. Because as many of you know, if you're long-time viewers of the channel, I do genuinely like Spain. And I like Belgium too, but now they're both out of the World Cup. So I guess I am properly a neutral now. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's been your boy TripleM. Peace.